And now, straight from the Law-Abiding Biker Media Studio,
out of sunny Yakima, Washington,
we bring you another episode of the
#1 listen to motorcycle podcast.
We're in your head.
We're in your head.
We're in your head.
We're in your head.
Get out of my head.
Face it, Lurch.
No, I don't want to.
The stock front and rear suspension on Harley-Davidson motorcycles and many other brands is basic.
I'll agree.
It offers only a mediocre level of performance and comfort. Upgrading the suspension, like I did, should be your first modification, everyone, as it will make the most significant difference in comfort and performance on your Harley. Having ridden thousands of miles in various environments and tested many different suspensions, I can confidently tell y'all that Wilbur's is the best choice for a touring application. It's unbelievable. It's huge.
It's huge.
It's unbelievable. It's the best, in my opinion. It's really hard for me to describe, but riding with Wilbur's feels like cruising down the road on a sofa. It's smooth and comfortable without any floaty feeling. It's amazing. The rebound is dialed in so well. It's perfect. While others stand to absorb shocks, I can stay seated thanks to the superior performance of the front and rear Wilbur's kit. It's so impressive that we decided to feature it right in the Law-Abiding Biker store. Plus, the listing includes a complete installation video done by none other than Lurch and me. Get Wilbur's in the Law-Abiding Biker store and we'll take care of you. And we'll have it on your doorstep in about 7 days. We have a complete install video at the bottom of that listing. As mentioned, no tax. That's huge savings.
Yeah.
If you don't live in Washington. And it's free shipping. Now, there's options for many years and models. We do have many listings in the store, a few. If you don't see it for your bike in your application, please use the store contact form. We will get back to you, lawabidingbiker.com/store. Let us know what you're looking for. It is amazing. It is on my 24. I traveled the East Coast with it. We just get really excited about the suspension. We sell others too in the store, of course. No, it's not the cheapest, but everybody, we appreciate you buying it from us. You guys have been great. You realize the customer service you get when you order it from us, the personalized experience. We're going to take care of you. We're going to answer your questions. We're going to get it to you. We're going to make sure that you are taken care of. So go over to Law-Abiding Biker store and check out Wilbur's suspension. Once you use it, you will never want to ride another touring bike without it. It's that good. All right, Bikeaholics announcement. I just wanted to quickly tell all of you about some changes for our current and future patron members of Law-Abiding Biker Media. We wanted to let you know about a change we are making that will help us deliver a better membership experience going forward. We are switching from a per piece of content model to a monthly subscription billing model on Patreon, effective October 2024. This means that every month you'll have a consistent price for all of the benefits that we provide, and it won't fluctuate based on the number of content pieces per month that we release, because we release a lot and it will always stay the same. Don't stress out. There isn't really anything you need to do as a current member, but we wanted to keep you informed and so we can be fully transparent. We decided to make this change both for the consistency it provides to members and us, and the flexibility to consider other benefits we can provide that aren't tied to the number of paid posts that we make each month. Your membership will be converted from a per creation amount per piece of content to an easier and understandable monthly subscription amount. Understand that we've never raised fees in over 10 years for our patron members, and we've added a lot of benefits. Now, during this transition, we are slightly raising membership fees for the first time for all new memberships as operation costs have increased over time. I know you all understand that. Here are the slight changes to membership fees. Base tier level is going from $1 to $5 per month, mid tier from $12 to $15 a month, and top tier from $20 to $25 per month. The only change existing members will see during this transition is that they'll only be charged once a month now instead of per piece of content that we release. Understand that if you choose to sign up exclusively within the iOS Apple app on your iPhone, you'll pay additional fees to Apple for using their sign-up services. Just the way it goes. But even if you have an iPhone, you can still choose to sign up outside of the Apple iOS ecosystem, just simply using the Patreon website directly to sign up and then use the Patreon app like always on your phone. Just sign into it without the additional Apple fees. You'll be paying Patreon and us directly that way instead of using Apple and paying their additional fees. Existing members will be happy to know that when we transition, you are grandfathered in at your current pledge level as long as you continue to use your current payment method. Once the transition happens, you can make membership changes in your Patreon account anytime like you always have been able to do. Thanks for your understanding as we make this transition to a standard monthly subscription fee, which is an easier and more understandable model. We want to inform all of our members now so everyone is fully informed before this takes effect in October 2024. And of course, please reach out to us if you have any questions. We look forward to this next phase of building our community together on Patreon. And if you're not yet a patron member, you are really missing out. It's the fastest growing biker community around, and there are a plethora of benefits for becoming a member. You can learn all about it and all the details by simply heading over to lawabidingbiker.com/Patreon. That's Patreon, lawabidingbiker.com/Patreon.
I got mail. Yay!
Lurch, you got a
mail. Yay!
mail to handle here.
Absolutely. This question is about the Fat Bagger's clutch adjuster on a CVO. This came from Scott Baker of Portage, Indiana. He says, my bike is a 2023 CVO Road Glide. Do you know if there's a metal clutch cable adjuster for these new Harleys? ? I've seen the plastic stock adjuster break, and I've seen the replacement part from Fat Baggers, I believe. I didn't see anything for my new bike. The yellow plastic piece is now longer than the ones in the past. And here is our response. Here's a picture of it installed on Ryan's 2024 Road Glide. Works great. He loves it. The install video will be out on YouTube. And, well, at this time, it says in the next 10 days, but
it's been out for a long time. Out, yeah. But at the time you answered this email, yeah. Yeah, very good.
So yes, it does.
And the Fat Baggers guys, you got to get that on your bike. On your bike, we sell the heck out of those on the Law Abiding Biker store. Fat Baggers Easy Clutch Adjuster give you all the ability to adjust your clutch handle the way you want it. I absolutely love it on my 24 and with any sort of cable clutch. It's a must have for sure. Hey, Bikeaholics, 03D has a wide variety of innovative products for Harley-Davidson and a brand new line for the all-new Honda Goldwing named Gold Strike.
I like gold.
Top quality, affordable chrome lighting and comfort products. Zero Gold Strike are the motorcycle LED lighting innovators for CAN bus plug-and-play system compatibility. Head over to lawabidingbiker.com/store and check out our full line of 03D products. Of course you want to ride longer.
Of course you do.
Of course you're tired of your sore and achy ass. Mm-hmm. Well, then stop crying and whining about it and fix it with a high-quality butt buffer seat cushion. Simply head over to lawabidingbiker.com/store and check out our full line of butt buffer seat cushions. Another product, once you use it for long-distance touring, you will never want to ride without it again. Guaranteed. I like that. I got to add that in. Woo! Here we go. Welcome back, you freaking bikeaholics. This is the podcast for the motorcycle majority, the Big MM, also known as the
99%.
That's right. Large and in charge of the motorcycle scene by being here, by listening. You're partaking in what we call the hashtag
Biker Revolution.
We have one question before we get started.
Mount up and let us.
What are you waiting for, bikeaholics?
Oh, see, you cut me short. I'm not always paying attention. I just know my lines. What are you waiting for, bikeaholics? Mount up and let us take you on another wild-ass ride.
Ryan Urlacher here, your host of the Law Abiding Biker Podcast.
And your high-tech redneck.
Lurch in the house. Been a minute.
Can't change it up because I know what I'm supposed to say.
Bam. Some store items Lurch wants to promote up front here.
Yes, tires, man. We've been getting tires in. We got a tire rack in the store. If you're in the area, you come through.
Yeah.
We've got you covered with the most common tires anyways. But for you out there, we've got some listed in the store. But if they're not, you can just contact us. Use the contact form and tell us what tires and what size you're looking for, and we'll get back to you.
It's going to be free shipping, no tax for non-Washington residents. You can have some huge savings, guys.
Big savings. And I think we may have mentioned this before, but I want to mention it because we've been out for a while. The Kuryakin shift linkage in chrome. We've got some, again, we only had black and chrome for a long time. We've got the original chrome available to us now. We got several of them, so don't wait because they'll go quick.
One of the top 5, speaking of Wilbur suspension, number 1, this is within the top 5 immediate change outs on all my bikes, is you got to get rid of the stock Harley linkage. We've done lots of videos on the YouTube channel. If you go to Kuryakin shift linkage, in the store, there's videos, install videos, and the reason you need to get that changed out so you do not end up stranded, because we have seen multiple riders stranded in our crew over the years because of shift linkage issues. Get that changed out, and we're stocking it and selling it as fast as we can stock it. So don't delay, because it may be on back order again, and it's hard to get anywhere else. In fact, we're one of the biggest stockers of that stuff. So there you go. We got an awesome episode for you guys, and it's going to be all about some stuff we learned. And it's super important information, but then we're also going to tell a little story behind it, because that's fun, and it's going to give you context into why we did what we did and what I was planning on doing anyways. And that is about lithium-ion batteries in pre-24 models, and then what we learned on 24 models. Some of the pros and cons of lithium-ion and lead-acid batteries, and things you should take into consideration. And in fact, what we're going to eventually share with you here is it can be rather a dangerous situation that I encountered during my trip. Some of you may know about it. Now, with that said, I did put a YouTube video out on this, and I put some shorts on Instagram. Make sure you follow us over on Instagram at Law Abiding Biker, Facebook, same, of course, YouTube channel. We're putting out lots of content, lots of shorts, lots of reels and things like that that can keep you informed. And we do some fun stuff behind the scenes too. But what happened to me was rather dangerous, and I was probably one of the first ones to figure this out. And I have been working directly, which we'll get into. I immediately contacted my Harley reps over in headquarters, people high up, not just a regular, customer service.
The customer,
yeah.
the main dude.
And my actual, one of my reps. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I wanted to get to the bottom of this, and I thought it was so important to get out because they really were silent about it. I don't think they did it on purpose. It's just like, they're not going to put everything out. But I felt it was really important for the biker community to know about this, especially if you have a pre-24 and especially if you're buying a 24 and on, and what we're looking at here overall when it comes to lithium-ion batteries. So we will have some fun and tell a little story behind it, but that puts things into perspective instead of just throwing it out there for you and how we got involved in this mess. This is what we do, is I test stuff, guys, and I'm willing to test stuff and learn stuff, and a lot of the mistakes we make, and they're not really even mistakes, it's just things you don't know about, we figure out, and I did a lot of work on this, so I'm proud to have probably one of the only videos out there on it. Probably the only video.
It's the only one I'm aware of.
To get
Unless
this,
somebody copied you.
That'll happen soon. That'll
Yeah.
happen soon. Yes, it's flattering. You've made it when people copy you.
In the early days of this, we would, myself in particular, and I assume you to some level too, we'd be working on a project and have some type of error or mistake that led to additional work, only because we were so limited on time when we do this, on our days off or whatever. And so I would get frustrated in the early days, and we've come to the realization that if we do something that's not correct and we have to correct it, or we make a mistake, we take the time to learn from it. And so it's it's weird to say, but sometimes these mistakes end up being blessings, because then we can take, like when I screwed up the tumblers on Popeye's ignition, I was so frustrated with myself. And,
then broke mine.
And then broke yours, because it was one of those deals where we ran into an issue and we were on limited time. We ended up working all night long to get it done so that he can get out of here. And so frustration kicks in, but you were able to, a couple days later, to come and take that ignition apart and figure out how it works and make a really good video. That's just one example of how an error turns into some really good information. And this is something similar. A little backstory, if you haven't heard seen the video or anything, or listened to the podcast on our adventure, our motorcycle trip this summer, we towed our bikes out to trailered our bikes out to Tennessee, and in our haste, we figured, the key fobs are on the bikes, no big deal, they'll be fine. We don't need to put it in transport mode. Well, no, that's not true. You need to put in transport mode so that stuff's not working on there and draining your batteries. And so, because some of you may wonder, well, why would Ryan have an issue with his brand new motorcycle? Well, dumbass us trailered it out there, and we're trying to get the bikes running, and yours had gotten down so low that the bike wouldn't start. It's like, nope, sorry. So we grabbed the ion lithium out of your 2014, threw it in your 2024.
So let me back up just a little bit.
Started up right away.
Yes. Yes. So are we going to get into this story, or are you just...
I was just
you were just giving an overview.
Just giving,
gotcha.
quick.
I didn't know where you were
just
going.
Just a little quick overview. Yep. How did we get here?
Okay, gotcha.
And you'll go into the story, but
yeah,
we drained your battery, and trying to get going quickly, we grabbed Russell's ideas, like, hey, grab that one out of the 2014. So we threw it in there, and that's kind of what started us on this path that you're going to explain.
Yes. Okay.
Which ended up being a blessing, because now we can explain this information.
We dug into this.
We wouldn't have found out if we didn't do it.
You wouldn't know.
Yeah.
So backing up, and what Lurch said. So I just want everybody to know I got the 24 Street Glide. I wanted to put the lithium-ion battery in it. I was going to anyways.
Yeah.
But we got rushed going on the trip and everything that happens here at Law Abiding Biker Media. And the reason is, the backstory is, like 5 years ago, I don't know but I did a video, and I switched at that time, my 2014 Street Glide from lead acid. I wanted to start testing lithium ion batteries. Well, I put a lithium ion battery in my 14 and ran that. And I wanted to long-term test. So I wanted to see how many years I could get out of that V twin battery, lithium ion battery. And I just want to say it was working great. And my plan, so patron member Russell Roberts, longtime patron member, great guy. I sold my 14 to him. Mm-hmm. And so part of us riding 10 days on the East Coast was we needed to get the bikes over there. We only had 10 days and we wanted to do a lot of miles. So he told Russell, well, he was letting us keep all the trailers at his house anyways in Tennessee, north of Nashville. And we were like, well, then we'll just bring the 14 over with us since you bought it, and we'll leave that, and then we'll unload our bikes, we'll ride, we'll come back. So that's the setup. I didn't get time to take the lithium ion battery out of the 14 and put it in before the trip. And Russell bought the bike. So I was like, well, that's fine. I'm not going to make him do that. And I'll just let him keep the lithium ion, and I just won't get my long-term testing. But I got enough 5 years of testing out of it that it worked really great. And
he could always report to you if something issue happened.
True. And at some point when it went out. But anyways, because of the mistake, of non-transport mode in an emergency, it happened anyways. So I just want to say on the YouTube video, maybe I wasn't explaining. They have to be a lot more succinct in the podcast, and we got a lot of jackasses, obviously. Number one, it's what I do. And I said that I test stuff for the biker community so I can learn about it, so I can report to you guys. I have a YouTube channel, podcast. That's what I do. So it would have happened either way. But of course, you get the keyboard warriors and the jackasses that, why would you take a perfectly good new battery and put a lithium on? Well, there's a lot of reasons for it. I was going to do it anyways, but this kind of sped it up. Mm-hmm. And we were right in the midst of taking off on a 10-day trip. So had I had time, I would have put that in before the trip and made sure everything was working. But we were in a little bit of a pickle. And so there's no better thing than baptism by fire for testing shit in the middle of a 10-day trip. And that's exactly kind of how we ended up where we were. Now, a couple things, Lurch, that I want to key on, unless there's a particular way you want to go on this episode.
No.
Let's talk about lithium-ion batteries. And I know you have some information here, and I'll let you go through that in a minute. I am not going to tell you what the internet says about lithium-ion batteries. What Lurch is going to do that. I am going to tell you what my experience and some of the bullshit comments on the YouTube video. There's so many uneducated people, and because they're quite funny when I explain them to you the way that I'm going to do it. So, number one, here's the deal. I ran that lithium-ion battery for 5 years, and it ran awesome. It had great cold cranking amps. Now lithium-ion batteries, if you let them get down to a certain level, they're smart batteries, and they will, let's say you left it in the cold and you left it not on a battery tender for 6 months. That battery, to protect itself, is going to go 9 nights to sleep. And what you have to do to wake it is, if it goes to deep sleep, is you got to put some jumper cables on it and a charger and wake it back up.
A trickle charger is not enough to wake it.
Right.
Yeah.
True. Good point. So I did let that. My 14 had a parasitic draw, and it always did, with lead acid and lithium, because the bike has a parasitic draw of some sort. And excuse me. And so I, like all my bikes, I just keep them on tenders. Even when I'm not riding it for a week, they in the shop, they're all over, and I plug every bike in. Just saves the longevity. I know the battery will be good, and it for the health and life of them. It's just, so obviously after it went to sleep, it was my fault. I forgot to plug it in. I left it for 2 weeks. That's when I realized I had a parasitic draw. So as long as I kept it plugged into a tender, lead acid or lithium ion, it was fine. It cranked the bike fine. Some of the comments and people that are uneducated on lithium-ion batteries is they'll comment that, well, the reason your battery didn't run your bike is because the charging system wasn't made for, lithium-ion and blah, 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 blah. That's bullshit. I can tell you from personal experience that my lithium-ion battery and my 14 charging system charged that thing just fine, because I would go on 4,000 mile trips, 10 days, and it was not on a battery tender. It charges zero issues, guys.
It actually provides more than even necessary, so it's fine. Yeah, your bike when it's running provides more than enough to charge up the ion lithium.
Now the lithium ion, where uneducated people on the matter get that, is that lithium ion batteries do charge to a higher level at like 13 some volts, where a lead acid is like 12 volts, a little over 12 volts. It just means it charges a little higher, but that doesn't mean the charging system can't get it to that level, if that makes sense.
Yeah, your bike has a regulator on it, so it only it won't overcharge it.
Right.
People are worried about, you put that ion lithium in there, it's going to overcharge it, blow up, and blow your nuts off.
Yeah,
your bikes have protections to not do that.
Yep. If that were the case, they wouldn't be selling lithium-ion batteries for motor vehicles in the United States.
The first guy that got his nuts blown off, they would have recalled them all. I mean, come on, man.
No, and this is just the trash of the internet. I mean, we love the internet because we get out to you guys and we can help bikers. It is what it is. It's a double-edged sword, but there's so many idiots. And the comments, we don't take them too seriously, but when bring them up, it's good for discussion here on the podcast. So,
I've had one in my bike for almost 5 years now too. I replaced mine because my bike's a year older than yours. So maybe it's been about 4 years. It's been great. I only had to go to sleep once, and it's because I had a broken lead on my battery tender. I didn't realize it. So I thought it was plugged in. Yeah. And it wasn't, and it was out in my shop, which is long term. It was real cold winter. So I went out to start it, and
his shop is not insulated, so it gets cold in there, right?
It's insulated, but not like
you did.
It's a pole building, and it's got like an R7 installation, so it's not like a stick building with like 15 and 30 R value installation. So it can get pretty cold in there. Yeah, stuff won't freeze in there.
Cold as a witch's tit.
Oh yeah. In a brass bra on the north side of the pole.
We're aging ourselves. Okay. So that's wrong. And I answered a couple comments on YouTube trying to talk to a few of these morons. Anyways, that's not that. So that's a myth. And I still have a lithium ion on my 16 Dyna Lowrider S, and it's been over 5 years too. And it's perfect. Runs great. So let's put that all to sleep. The other huge thing that I want to get out there is a lot of guys, it's just so funny when they comment and they said, multiple trolls said, that's why I would never do lithium ion batteries. I would never get one on my bike. You're going to burn your shop down. You burn your house down. They catch on fire. They're dangerous. Blah, 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 blah. You know how I responded? Nicely. I said, interestingly, you might want to get rid of your cell phone too, because it too has a lithium ion battery. You know what I mean? Like lithium ion batteries, look behind you on that shelf. The drones, the fucking cameras, the lithium ion batteries are everywhere. Now, if you own an Android, it might, which phone was that? The Android phone? Was it a Samsung that was catching on fire from the lithium ion?
Which one was that?
Yeah.
I think it was.
It burned a hole in the plane floor or something, dude, on that plane. Other than that, yes, they can be volatile if they're not, if it's a bad battery, like in those cell phones or whatever. But lithium, that's the most ridiculous comment I've heard, that I would never get one because it's dangerous. And like everything you own has lithium ion batteries in it, you moron. I'm nice to people. I don't call people names in the comments. I would not do that. I'm just,
apparently you think it in your head.
Yeah, I do. I'm just venting here on the podcast, the abyss of YouTube comments. But so that's completely false. And I just told him, I said, lithium ion batteries are in everything we own, from cell phones to cameras. And so, yeah, you wouldn't own anything if you were afraid of lithium ion batteries. So let's put that to bed. And let's see. Yeah, we talked about the charging system. Yeah, I think those are just a few of the things. Lithium ion batteries. If you watch my video from 5 years ago, I was kind of going over the lithium ion batteries. I actually did a pretty good video on it, of the benefits, pros and cons of lithium ion versus lead acid. And we've talked about it. They can be finicky if it's really cold. If you have it on a tender, you're going to be fine. But in real cold weather, even if they don't go to sleep, they go to half sleep, which just means they're protecting themselves from getting drained too fast. And so you turn on a headlight or something and activate it. It might take just a split couple seconds, and then all of a sudden your headlight will come on. Well, that's because it just woke back up.
It realizes you're trying to draw from it. Yeah, it's not completely shut down.
Right, right. So those are just some of the little things about lithium-ion batteries.
But on the other hand, your lead acid has none of those protections. So if it fries it and it's gone for good, most likely.
Usually when a lithium or lead acid is on its way out, and or getting close, or it's older, and you accidentally do leave the headlight on or something and you dump it, you've just ruined that battery. Where a lithium ion will go to sleep and protect itself from that happening. So you have
a better chance of waking it up and saving it.
Right.
Yeah.
Because it won't let itself get to that level. So yeah, that's some of the things. Make sure the other thing we've talked about in the past is in my shop, and we sell them in the law-abiding biker store. It's just the way to go these days. And that is our dual charger. So all my tenders are dual, and it has a button on it, and they're from Battery Tender Junior, right? Battery Tender, the brand.
Deltran makes it, but it's Battery Tender Junior.
There you go. Yep. Deltran. We sell them in the law-abiding biker store, and we sell the heck out of those things. In fact, we're having troubles with stock right now, but we'll just keep looking. But anyways, we get the duals. And basically it's got a button, and you can either switch it to lead acid or lithium ion. Cause like we said, lithium ion, you want to charge a little higher, and it's a smart charger. And so that way you plug them in, they're the same size. They've got the little selector, and cause I've got both in the garage right now, I've got lead acid and lithium ion. And so I can just move them around and hit the button depending on what I'm charging. So make sure you're not just using a regular lead acid, because it's only going to charge it to a little over 12 volts. So if you are going to do lithium ion, then make sure you get the appropriate charger. They do make just lithium-ion chargers, but like I said, I would get the Deltran that we sell because then you've got the best of both worlds, and you can move them around to your lawn tractor, whatever, mower, car.
I have several of them in my garage. Yeah.
Yeah. We've all pretty much, I've phased my old just lead acid ones out to all, well, because we do sell them. I do have access to them.
Yeah, true. I think I still have a few of the lead acids, but they're on like the lawnmowers because I have two.
Yeah, right.
Every guy needs two lawnmowers.
Right. Yeah, right. Yeah, yeah, we know that story. We're not going there. All right. So why don't you tell a little bit of the more succinct. So I gave you guys my experience. I've had really good results with lithium-ion batteries in my 16 Dyna, in my 14 Street Glide. But here's a little research Lurch did to put it a little more in succinct on what the interwebs and some collective information says.
Yeah, this is what the old chat GPT has to say about lithium car batteries. I had asked him why.
Do your own research.
Yeah, absolutely. But I asked him, why is lithium better than lead acid? Here's the response that we got. Lithium-ion batteries are generally considered better than lead-acid batteries for most modern applications, including electric cars. Here's a key comparison. Energy density. Lithium-ion has much higher energy density, meaning it stores more energy per unit of weight or volume. Lead-acid has lower energy density, making it bulkier and heavier for the same amount of energy storage. If any of you guys have pulled that lead-acid battery out of your touring Harley, which is tucked in a hole just big enough to put the battery in, it's a booger. That son of a bitch is heavy. Mm-hmm. And it's hard to get out, and you probably hurt your fingers putting it back in. The ion lithium, if you bought one for your bike, it would be the same size, so that fills up the hole. But the truth is, if you took the top off the battery, it'd probably be like a tenth of the size inside. It's a much smaller battery. So
I can take a motorcycle lithium-ion battery and I can put it in my palm and I can toss it up and catch it in one hand.
Yeah,
it's very light. It's insane. It feels fake. It feels like a toy. Yeah.
And then the next one's weight, which we really actually already answered. The ion's much lighter. So, you're at least going to get 10 more horsepower out of your bike.
Yeah. And honestly, I don't really care about the lithium ion on the weight for touring bikes. Who gives a shit? But it does make a difference for, whether you're doing, touring or dirt. The guys do care about weight if you're into racing, if you're actually that crucial on racing. So weight does matter, but on a touring bike, it doesn't really matter. Yeah.
As far as the life cycle, the durability, lithium ion typically lasts 2,000 to 5,000 charge and discharge cycles, whereas the lead acid has a much shorter cycle life, 500 to 1,000, meaning they wear out quicker. That's substantial. I mean,
it is.
You're looking 4 times more cycles on a ion lithium.
That is crazy. Yeah.
So
they are a little more expensive up front.
They are.
But you get a life out of them, a lot longer life.
That's number 6, cost.
Nice.
Efficiency. It has a higher, lithium has a higher charge discharge efficiency, about up to 95%, meaning less energy is lost during use, where the lead acid has about a 70 to 80% efficiency, meaning it loses more during charging and discharging. Charging time, ion charges quicker. And cost, that's one of the things. Ion lithium is more expensive up front. But if you consider, the benefits of it, I think it's a worthy investment. Maintenance, ion lithium is virtually maintenance free, but with lead acid requires periodic maintenance, including topping off with distilled water in some cases. And I know everybody's concerned about this one, environmental impact. Lithium ion is more environmentally friendly in the long term due to higher efficiency and longer life. But mining lithium has environmental and ethical concerns.
Yeah, there's some documentaries on mining lithium you should check out. Yeah, it's bad.
It's not great.
No.
So when we start looking at all these electric cars and putting just batteries in the lithium mines, not good.
No, it's, yeah. There's a lot. That's a double-edged sword.
Yep,
yeah,
sure is. And with lead, they say lead is toxic. Okay. Conclusion. According to the interwebs.
Is lithium not toxic? If you eat lithium?
I don't think it's as toxic, honestly. I mean, they use lithium as a medication, so
if you have choice
I wouldn't eat a battery.
Eating lead or lithium,
I don't know lithium. Maybe it's a little bit better for you. You're probably going to die either way.
We're not recommending you eat either. But anyways, yeah. All right, go ahead.
So the conclusion, according to the interwebs, is lithium-ion batteries are generally better for electric vehicles due to They're talking about electric vehicles, fine.
Right.
They're higher energy density, longer lifespan, faster charging, and lighter weight. However, lead-acid batteries still have a niche application. This is why you have to check your stuff when you look on the interwebs.
Especially when you're using ChatGPT, they're just pulling a bunch of. You have to be really careful. Yeah.
So their conclusion is talking about electric cars, but it's still kind of accurate. Basically, it's lighter, higher density, longer lifespan, faster charging. And the downside is a little bit of cost.
Yep. And we gave you our personal experience, which is way more informational than ChatGPT, because we've actually can tell you as bikers we're using them and they were fine.
One thing that didn't say is also the cranking amps, man. That lithium really spins.
CCAs, yeah, it does.
Yeah, it really spins that bike.
Yep, totally.
Yeah.
You notice it right away. You know how Harleys, even my 24 lead acid. Right. It's just, and it's a brand new battery. And it's just like, you put that lithium on there with the high CCAs. It's just, man, they just turn those bikes over. Yeah, totally. All right. So that gives you a little background on lithium-ion batteries. And now we're going to kind of move in to a little bit more information about my investigation and what happened as we moved forward on our 10-day trip with my now lithium-ion battery on my brand new 24. But Lurch wants to do this real quick.
Ride longer and treat your ass with some respect already.
Oh my!
Get hooked up with a premium butt buffer seat cushion. This company of bikers developed a super thin, hospital-grade seat cushion made of solid and elastic materials, and it's unlike gel pads that will leak if punctured. The butt buffer is designed not to slide around your seat, fits all motorcycles, installs in seconds, easily cleans, and helps dampen those damn vibrations. With plenty of models to choose from, they'll assure you have a comfortable ass when riding. Look at me. Head on over to Law Abiding Biker Store and check out their full line of butt buffer seat cushions.
Good job, bro.
I couldn't look at you. Because
you won't make eye contact with me.
Well, because what you're saying is dumb enough. But when I look at your eyes and how much joy you have as you're saying it.
No doubt, dude. You know me well. I'm such a child. Okay, so moving on. So we took off on our 10-day trip. And so to put this in perspective, as soon as we put it in, they said, Lurch, I wasn't there yet. I was flying in, but they said it fired right up. I got my bike loaded up. We took off. I would have thought it was fine. I've been using this battery for many years on my, 14 and now on my 24, I expected no issues. One thing worth noting is, a big change in the 2024s is the entire electrical system. That includes, the way the bike's talking to itself within. It's quite complex, and to include the Infotainment Control Unit and entirely digital dash. A lot going on internally within the electrical system, and there's multiple computers in the bike. I think we were told, the left-hand controls a computer, the right-hand controls a computer. You got the BCM, you got the ECM. So you got all this stuff,
the IFCU
going on. Yeah,
all these computers talking to each other.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah,
going on in there. So, but taking that aside, didn't come thought to me at all. I'm just fat and happy riding, with my brothers across the East Coast. Now we get to like day 3. I believe it was day 3 or day 4. Anyways, close enough. And we end up in Bristol, Tennessee. Right?
Yeah. Yeah, we're in Bristol. It was the morning we were leaving Bristol.
Yep.
So it would have been day 4, I believe, of our trip.
Yeah, that's what I think too. Yeah. Day 4. So I hadn't noticed anything. Okay, I will say day 3 a few times. It didn't have, it acted more like a lead acid. It didn't have quite the cranking amps. So it would turn over just a little bit slower, but I was like, no, whatever. Okay. And it's a different bike, whatever. Maybe it turns over slow. I'm busy. And so I did note that. Now got up in the morning at the hotel and went out to my bike, fired right up. Bam. Okay, cool. And wasn't even thinking about it still. Rode to the coffee shop and we kind of hung out there for a little bit before we started the day. Came out, which is weird because it fired fine at the hotel. It wasn't even slow, which is weird. And then all of a sudden I come out the coffee shop. I didn't leave anything on. It was like 45 minutes later, dead. Won't even turn over. It like clicked once and I'm like, nothing was left on. And so anyways, us being prepared, we have our beloved, you guys really touring, you should be carrying this along with, obviously, we sell all the stuff in the store for a reason, but your Cruise Tools RTH3 travel toolkit for Harley, sell the heck out of those things. It's in the store. If you don't have one, you're crazy, because you're going to end up getting a tow truck over a simple roadside repair that you could repair. You'll see it in our documentary films. We've fixed many bikes, roadside or hotel parking lots, that would have been taking it to a shop, paying fees, having a tow truck take it there. But in addition to that is our jump packs, our emergency jump starter units. Very small, very compact, fit in your saddlebag. We've got them in the Law Abiding Biker store, multiple different brands to choose from. I recently promoted one via a short. You want to talk about it?
The Ride Power?
Yeah.
Yeah, the Ride Power Power Bank Jump Start Kit. It is a cool little kit. What I like about it is the size. It comes in a little pouch that if you want to discard that and then put it in a soft bag, you can even get it down to smaller.
Yep.
But it is small, which is nice for a motorcycle. But it's got not only can you jump start your bike with it if you need for some reason to power your cell phone or some other device, it comes with the connectors to do that as well.
Yeah, it comes with the little USB-C cables, Lightning. It comes with 3 different cables and I believe a USB or maybe a micro for like Android. Although I think most of them went to USB-C now too. Anyways, it comes with a little packet of little tiny cables. And so you can pretty much charge any device, right? And USB A to C. Yeah, I believe it is. Yeah.
I believe it's a C, A
coming out the unit, C on the other end of the cable, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I can never get all those straight, but yes, it'll charge most of your electronic devices. And it also has a light on it and a strobe. If you you can put it in SOS mode. If
flashlight.
You want. Yeah. Very cool. 2 USB ports on it, actually.
Yep. Handy little unit. And because of that, and also the other part of that is, having toolkits like we have and jumpers, you're back on the road because you delay a trip. These days are long. We try to get in before dark. You got to call a tow truck. Even if the tow truck just has to come and jump you, you've now delayed. What did Lurch do? Popped open a saddlebag, bam, right there, bam, jumped my bike, and long story short, back on the road. Bike fired right up. So I was a little concerned about turning it off. I wanted to charge. So we made a couple quick stops just because we were getting some drone footage and some film stuff. I left the bike running during those times. So I wasn't really sure what was going on. Like, that shouldn't have died. And I still didn't dawn on me that there was a lithium issue at all because I've used them so long. And so we got outside of, here's where the dangerous part happened. And again, I had no information on this. I wasn't told about this information. It wasn't really readily available. I wasn't told the dealership or nothing.
In your conversation, did the motor company even know that it was an issue?
They won't say.
I wonder if they didn't until you let them know.
That's my guess.
Yeah. Because why would they?
Correct.
Why would they test it? That seems like a strange thing for them to test ahead of time. You know what I mean? Just to see if it would work with lithium ion.
Right.
So you may have been
within their parts catalog.
Their fitment recommends
their fitment, so they knew they had to, right? Or they would have said.
Yeah. Well, while you're telling the story, I'm going to look and see what fitment like for my bike is. See if it recommends anything other than that.
Right. Okay.
I bet you their fitment is just their batteries, Harley's batteries.
They sell lithium ion though. Harley sells a lithium ion for Harley.
Okay, I'm gonna look.
Yeah. That's the key for pre-24s. You could get for years. You could get the Harley branded lithium ion. So they sold them. They're just not for 24 models. They said fitment wise with deep in the fitment. Said for those bikes that it was lead acid only, but they didn't really explain why. But who would look at that unless you're getting a battery?
I know you can buy lithium ions at your local Harley dealership. I just don't know if they're Harley branded.
There's one on the Harley website for years, and it was a Harley branded lithium ion battery.
I'm looking.
Anyways, so here's where the dangerous part comes, and I was not expecting. So and of course we rode 2-lane roads most of the morning. Now
of course
we're on a 5-lane,
of course,
huge interstate with a median, and the cable fence in the middle, 5 lanes, guys. And it's busy, and it's outside of Greensboro, North Carolina. Yeah, go ahead.
You are correct. So there is it's called Lithium Life 8 amp battery. It's got a Harley symbol and says lithium on it for if I look from my bike. And then it's got the HD AGM original equipment.
Yep. So they've been doing it for years. But for 24, apparently, which we'll get into, we found that out afterwards. That was their first response to me, which was not necessarily good enough for me. We needed to dive deeper. But so back to the 5-lane freeway. I'm in the back. I'm filming. And so I'm hanging out in the back like I often do. That way I can run up on the pack and then drift to the back and do what I need to do. Well, I'm luckily at this point, I guess it would have been just as good to be the far right lane, but we were luckily in the far left lane, inside lane. Nothing. Now I will note, Lurch, after we jump started my bike that morning, I did note that the little yellow lightning bolt on the dash was on, which to me, I didn't look it up, but it meant, oh, there's some battery issue, but it's running fine. That was another comment on YouTube. A lot of people were like, you had a lightning bolt on your dash and you kept riding the bike. What am I supposed to do? I'm on a 10-day trip. The bike's running fine and the battery's working. What would you, you know what I mean? Just
pull over and say, fuck it, I'm out of here.
I'm done. I'm calling a tow truck. This light, I can't deal with this lightning bolt. Call me a tow truck so I can make sure. Just idiots. You know what I mean? I'm like, in the middle of a 10-day trip, there's lots of lights that come, if it's not a critical light, I go, the bike's running fine. So anyways, but that's a note, right? And so my IFCU, I'm playing music, I'm doing my whole deal, and it was that quick, lights out. So my bike gave me no warning. I was throttle on, going down the freeway like 70, bam, all power lost. The whole dash went dark. I had nothing. Like everything went night, which we know it was so low and in safe mode. The battery. So I was like, crap, I tried to hit the starter switch. I'm like, did I turn off the ignition? But even when I do that, the screen stays on for a little bit.
Yeah.
Nothing. And so I basically immediately, luckily I was on the inside lane and there's cars coming up to the rear. Well, we're going so fast, I can't notify the other guys. My thing was just to get to safety and out of traffic. So I got over to the median. Of course, the rest of the guys, I'm in the back. They keep going. And I knew they would realize, and we got cell phones and whatnot, but so I'm on the inside of the median and I try to crank the bike over again, even turning the power switch on, like it won't even make a sound. The screen, it's dead, DED, dead. If you didn't know, that's how when something's really dead, that's how you spell it. Just emphasizing that. Anyways, so we start, making calls. I finally get a hold of the guys. Lurch comes back. Popeye comes back. We realize Lurch tried to jump start it again and
it
nothing.
would. Jumpstart.
Huh?
We got it to jumpstart.
Not in the median.
Because you were able to jumpstart it, and then as soon as you tried to pull away, it died on you.
That's right. We did get it jumpstart the first time, and then as soon as I went dead again, it just went completely dead.
As soon as you accelerated, it died.
That's right. We did. That's right. Yep. I forgot about that. Yeah.
And then we jumpstarted again, and it idled. And you were able to rev it up as soon as you put in gear and started to pull away. It died again.
So it was just barely getting enough power. So we realized the only resolution to this that we could try was to get a new battery. Made a call. The other guys were in town. They grabbed a lead acid at this time. Now is when I finally went, okay, I wonder if this has something to do with 24s and lithium-ion batteries. First of all, it's harder to find a lithium. I was like, for now, just get me something that fits and make sure it's a lead acid at this point. And then I'll deal with this when I get home and I'll call Harley and figure this shit out. Because I knew that battery was good. We knew that battery was good. So they came back, Duracell, lead acid, fired right up. And again, the way we were able to install that in the median, Cruise Tools RTH3 kit. You'll see it in the videos. I did a longer video on YouTube on it. That is how we got that battery out and in right there on the side of the road. Again, that would have been, longer delay. It could have been tow truck bill. It's ridiculous for stuff like that to have to do that for the price of a tool kit. So Lurch did that for me. I filmed, got it back, fired up, got on the road. We went to lunch, came back out from lunch, bike fired right up, back in business. No issues. But you can see backing up a little bit. That's why I think it's so important to get this information out, because it's a dangerous situation. Number one, imagine if that was at night in a road with no lights. That's scary. It's dangerous. I'm on a 5-lane freeway. That's scary. That's dangerous. To just lose power like that. And I don't want this happening to other people. At this time, I didn't know if it was something just with my bike, or I again, research needed to be done. So the rest of the trip, the rest of the 10 days, the bike ran like a champ. By the way, my 24 is amazing. This is not a bike issue. That was some other comments. People just comment on the title of the YouTube video and they don't watch it, or they're just Harley haters or whatever. That's why I would never buy a Harley. It's like, this had nothing to do. It ran fine on a lead acid. This had to do with some sort of lithium-ion, which I have understood that other vehicles have had issues with electrical systems and lithium-ion batteries and things like that. This isn't completely unique.
Yeah, I was wondering as you were talking, and I'm just thinking of, like, let's say what's your truck, like a 2022 or something like that. It's got a bunch of tech in it. I wonder if that would be, I wonder if it would have an issue. And yeah, interesting.
It would definitely make me check fitment more often
newer
now,
rigs.
Newer rigs and more complex electrical systems. So again, the 24 has been amazing, guys. That bike, it's unbelievable. I really don't have much bad at all to say about it now that it's set up the way I like it for me, with the Wilbur suspension and all the other stuff I've put on there. Unbelievable bike. That is a touring frickin' machine. So comfortable, so powerful, so smooth. Love it. So again, this wasn't a bike issue. This was some sort of electrical and playing nice with the lithium-ion battery. So
I broke my rule when I said I was not going to ride your bike until I was ready to buy a new one. I had to run it down to our local Harley shop for you. And I jumped on, and damn, that thing's, feels like a sports bike. And that's how I felt when I jumped on your 2014, getting off my 08 onto your 14. That's kind of the same feeling I had, like, holy shit, this thing's nimble, it's tight. Same with going from my 15 to this 24 feels like that too. Huge leap.
Really is.
It's
what I was waiting for.
It's smooth.
So I waited 10 years.
Fast. Still feels like a Harley. They didn't take all the visceral feeling out of it. Still got a little bit of that, shake and noise and everything like that. But damn, I'm probably going to have to buy one in the spring.
I know you will. Planning on it. I will say at this time, guys, for the 24s, Zero 3D, one of our sponsors, is working hard behind the scenes to get parts for made lighting products specifically for the 24 and newer road and street glides. And we are following closely. And of course, we will bring that line of products right to the law-abiding biker store as soon as they're available. We'll be announcing it. We'll be doing videos. Again, lawabidingbiker.com/store. You can get a full array of Zero 3D products right in the Law-Abiding Biker store. And they've made such awesome stuff for quite a few years now, and for many years, I should say. And they continue to be very innovative. It's great, quick CAN bus plug-and-play system compatibility stuff. And this new stuff's going to be the same. But again, with the new electrical system and plugs, it's taken some time to develop and engineer that stuff. But we are excited, and I will be putting some of that on my 24. So with that said, let's finish up by saying I got home, and when I got around here to it, I knew it was important, and I knew I was onto something, and I knew I needed to get this information out. So as I previously mentioned, I contacted my Harley rep. And again, when I'm talking to Harley reps and stuff, I get it. They're a company, they're big. There's a lot of red tape. People can't just say what they want for liability reasons, obviously, attorneys, things like that. And they want to make sure they have their ducks in a row when somebody's representing something from that company. It's understandable. Not putting them down for that. That's not why I'm saying that. But what I'm saying is I'm not going to get an answer overnight. And So the first answer I got, I was connected with another awesome guy. Everybody I work with over there, they really are trying to do the right thing. They're not trying to hide anything. They just, if you work for a company that says, we know we work for government, I can't just, as a police officer, go say whatever I want and represent the agency. There's certain things that to the media that has to be done by a supervisor and things like that. Cause I could, say the wrong thing. And even though I didn't mean it, it could have a negative reflection. So same with these big companies. So I understood going into it, but it was about a 2-week process. We kind of went back and forth. I spoke on the phone, got passed to another guy over at headquarters who was super, super helpful. I'm not going to mention my names and my contacts over there for obvious reasons, but they're really, really good to me. And they realized what I was trying to do. I said, this isn't something to put Harley down on. I said, this is just something that's a safety issue that isn't really out there and it's not well known. And I think I can help you get it out because we have a very large Harley audience, and they were all in. But they had talked to the right people. The first answer I got was that what we already mentioned is that they did some research and they said, well, in our parts, when you're looking at parts for the 24 for batteries specifically, it does state not to use lithium ion. And he sent me a little deal that there's no lithium ion, some parts and fitment that we don't produce a lithium ion for the 24s for that reason.
Yeah. If you search 24 Street Glide battery, the only one that comes up is the AGM. Mm-hmm. And I'll look to see if it says anything in that listing about lithium.
No, and he might have had access. He dug deeper, but he said something about in their fitment, parts and fitment catalog. However he worded it. I have some direct quotes here, but that's not it. I'm just kind of breezing through that. But I go, okay, well, that's interesting. And I said, oh, that's great, but nobody's going to know that until they need a battery. So we should probably get this information out widespread. And they agreed. And I said, I really just want to help the biker community. Nobody's really going to be mad. It's not really about that. It's just that way they don't grab a new 24 and take their beloved lithium-ion battery off their other bike before they sell it and throw it in there. And we don't want people losing power in the middle of freeways and at night. And I think it could just benefit everybody. So after about 2 weeks, we finally got a statement and official statement. This is directly from Harley-Davidson representative over that's high up. Let's just say that. And kind of got me some answers. I just wanted to know for sure, are you going to fit, lithium ion batteries, or are we not going to have that option? Or I kind of want to know what was behind a lithium ion not working in my 24. Mm-hmm. And so here is the reply, and I'll quote, lithium batteries are not approved by HD Fitment for Revolution Max and center-cooled models due to the unique features of the electrical system and software on those vehicles. We continue to evaluate those systems interactions, the changes needed to possibly enable fitment, and consumer demand. Any potential future changes to enable lithium batteries will be communicated to the field and dealer network via fitment updates or service bulletins, unquote. I'll back up. They call it center cooled. If that's confusing you, that basically means 24 and newer, and it means the 23 CVO. Center cooled is the ones with the radiator in the middle, the now water cooled, the new Milwaukee 8 dual cooled for like I say, Road Glide, Street Glide, and the STs, the Road Glide ST and the 23 CVOs, which came out with it first, which is VVT. So that's what we mean by center cooled. It was just a new word they used. I was like, center cooled. And then I realized that means our bikes. And of course the Rev Max center cooled, which is on the Pan America and the Nightsters. They have that motor. So yeah, if you have any of those bikes, that is what they're saying. They're different electrical systems. They're revamped. Interestingly, I don't want to read into this too much, but it seems like they might in the future be able to enable fitment. I don't know if that's some change in the computers and the charging system and the way it's talking to that whole system and the battery. I don't know. I'm not educated enough in those things to completely understand that. You know what I mean? Is it just a computer software programming thing on the way it's talking, or is it the overall system that just won't accept it? But yeah.
Yeah, I've only just rode your bike down once to the Harley dealership, and there were so many buttons that were different than mine that I didn't really play with it a whole lot. I assume at some point it shows you what volts you're charging at somewhere.
Yeah,
Okay.
on the dash, yeah.
We'll have to look and see if it charges to lower volts or something like that. Maybe it's just not charging enough.
Yeah.
It's going to sleep, or maybe it's, I don't know. It's a very intricate system. It's, like you said, there's several computers on the thing talking to each other. It's obviously something to do with that new system, the IFCU and all that, and the charging system. And if it is software related, then they should be able to make those changes. And it sounds like just based on that statement, it sounds like potentially, at least they're going to look at it and see if it's something that they can make an adjustment for.
Right. And I will say, I'm not an engineer. I don't even play one on TV. I'm just for conversation purposes. And if you're an engineer or somebody who has a very deep knowledge in the lithium-ion industry, or you work in it and you're listening to this, please, lawabidingbiker.com/contact. Hit us up, leave us a voicemail, whatever you want to do. We would love that information. Just give your background and where you're coming from. But I just, in a very easy explanation, the electrical system we've already said is complicated, especially with the IFCU. You're talking about a completely digital dash that's integrated. It's not only your infotainment and maps and GPS and music, it's gauges. Everything is electronic. And so I know that there's protections in place for that unit. I mean, if you get a surge or something else, you're completely wiping out your entire dash. So I know that there was precautions and things. And so clearly what happened to my lithium-ion batteries, it went night-night going down the road.
Completely. Yeah.
Completely. Now.
Or we're able to, well, no, because we put jump pack on.
Right. That which would have woke it.
So woke it. Completely asleep, I would imagine.
Yeah. And so it was going to sleep. And I don't know if that's because the system within is keeping the voltage at some
lower level
bay because it doesn't want to hurt. Again, I am not an expert in this.
Oh, yeah. I see where you're going.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
For protections, that it allows it to go down before it brings it back up. You know what I mean? Some sort of very micro regulation of volts and whatnot in there. You know what I mean? I don't know. Yeah, I'm totally guessing at this. I could sound like a complete idiot right now.
That system, that IFCU system, may be very sensitive to the amount of voltage it can handle. So there are safety precautions in place, and so that bike may not be charging at its higher rate
all the time.
Bikes. Yeah,
it may be regulating it, which means a lithium-ion, a lead acid can get down that low, but the lithium-ion or the lead acid can get down that low, but the lithium-ion went, that's too low. Night.
Yeah, because the ion lithium takes more of a charge, and so that's the issue with the battery tenders. That's why you need to use one that will tender. It won't charge it high enough, and so over time it loses, and so maybe after that 4 days it just got down to the point where it was too low. Yeah. If we would have taken it out, fully charged it back up, and then put it in, it may ran good again for a few days.
Right.
And so it's just not getting that high enough charge that an ion lithium requires.
Right.
Potentially.
Well, I don't know if it's so much high as you see I'm on the other end, is that it's letting it get too low because it's somehow safeguarding where lead acid. It's like, I can go that low. That's fine. And then you can bring me back up because it's regulating. Mm-hmm. But it let the lithium-ion go to a point where it goes, that's my night point.
Yeah, we're saying
I got to go.
We're saying the same thing. And I'm just saying that it's not charging. This new bike may not charge at the same rate as like my bike.
Right.
And so over time, I'm saying the same thing you are.
Yeah.
Over time, your battery's going to get down. It's going to get down to the point where it goes 9.9 because it's not getting enough charge.
See, I think it's different. We're not saying the same thing. You're basically saying the charging system isn't charging it enough to keep it charged. I'm saying the opposite. I'm saying it'll charge it to full, but then it also allows it to draw down.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah. I'm no expert.
Okay, so you're saying.
I'm just making sure you understand. I'm saying two different things.
Right.
I think the charging system is capable of completely charging it. I don't think that's that much different. I just think that
They may be regulated.
that's what I'm saying. I think for protections of some sort, I could be full of shit, but the bike is allowing it,
right.
a lead acid to go, we're going to bring you down to here to regulate before we bring you back up. And the lead acid is like, well, that's good because I don't go to sleep and I'm fine doing that. The lithium-ion said, hey, you're dropping me way too low. I'm going night-night.
Yeah, I wonder why.
You need to charge me up already. You're waiting too long to, I don't know.
Yeah.
Neither of us know.
That'd be a pretty big range for regulation.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not an electrical engineer.
It's just,
so it's just for talk.
Yeah.
But if you do know, and you are out there and you're
smarter than we are,
and you're it doesn't take much to be smarter than us. We know enough to know that don't use lithium ion in the 24s, and it's personal experience. But yeah, it's good for conversation. So we will see if in the future we can get the lithium ion batteries. I hope they do. I would like to test them again. It's hard for me to test. I can do it in my Dynastil, but it's hard for me to test those in a bike that I am not supposed to use them on. So anyways, everything turned out good. We finished our 10-day trip. Yes, Lurch is raising his hand.
This may kind of clear it up a little bit. Lithium-ion cells don't like to be discharged below their over-discharge voltage, usually between 2.5 and 2.7 volts at most. Below that, the cells go to sleep or is so dead it won't wake up and take a charge anymore.
Yeah, interesting. Yep, and that's just to protect themselves, like we said. So, yeah.
That just actually put an amount on it, 2.5, 2.75. Yeah. So there might, like you say, there might be too much of a variance in.
Right.
Yeah. I don't know.
Jury's out.
Yeah.
Just don't use them in your 24 or newer. Now you've been warned.
I'd kind of like to know why.
I know.
And over time, I think we will, but.
Yeah. They gave me a good answer, but it's definitely can. It's not going to go into deep, that even if they did, if some engineer got there, I'd be like, I don't understand that. So that's probably why they did. And but nonetheless, there you go. Hopefully that's good, useful information for you guys, all you lithium ion battery lovers. You just, when you trade in your other bike or sell it, just let it go with the lithium ion. If you're going to upgrade to a 24, let it go. There you go. Oh, always trying to get good information out to the biker community. Now, we'd love to become a patron member. That's because we would like to get to know you better in the private Facebook group. We want to get you the plethora of benefits we offer, like this episode, which are patron members. It's going to be uploaded into the back end of your patron account within a couple days. You'll have access to listen to it right in your patron app on your phone. Everybody else, they get it months later. Oftentimes it's months later before we get these out. But these folks, for whatever reason you want to leave a flat donation, well, we certainly never balk at a flat donation. I want to thank the following people.
Robert Waite of Lemoore, California. Donald Plowman of Sparks, Nevada. And Robert Collins of Vicksburg, Michigan.
lawabidingbiker.com/donate. That's how they left us a flat donation. You also just go to lawabidingbiker.com. On the homepage, there's a big donate button. We appreciate it. It helps put a little fuel in the Law Abiding Biker gas tank.
So we can keep this thing rolling on down the road.
Yeah. Good episode, guys. And a little story behind it. We hope you enjoyed it. Now, we love our patron members. That's a foundation. It has been for a long time. Costs a lot of money, obviously, effort, expenses into keeping this thing going. The podcast, the YouTube channel, helping bikers. So we appreciate all the support, but another big way you guys can support us is obviously by shopping in the Law Abiding Biker store. And we're so humbled by that. Just know that we are a bootstrap company of bikers trying to help as many bikers as we can worldwide. It's actual bikers working there, Oscar and Lurch and I, and a lot of what we sell, we use. We have experience with it. We're living the biker lifestyle. We can definitely help you. We're not just some customer service agent. We'll get to the bottom of it. But remember, we're adding products quickly over there, so check back often. If you don't see a product, we can get you anything pretty much that the big boys online can, because we too are a drag specialties, Parts Unlimited, Western Power Sports, Turn 14. We got all the big boys, wholesalers, and we are dealers. And so find a part and let us know what part. We'll look it up, find out if we can get it to you. We will ship it to you as quick as any of the big boys. And remember, orders $100 or more, free shipping. And if you're outside Washington State, you don't pay taxes. So some huge savings to be had over there. And you're supporting us And again, we appreciate each and every customer. We will definitely take care of you. We continue to grow. Plan on doing that. And with your guys' support through all the different ways, through Patreon, through the store, through donations, through buying our premium videos and all that kind of stuff, guys, we plan on continuing to ratchet things up here in 2024.